Do you know the difference between a deferred and a postponed retirement? One of them could be keeping you the best benefits you have in retirement, and the other one could be losing them forever. And if you don't, make sure you stay tuned for this FERS Federal Fact Check. Hi, I'm Micah Shalansky, and welcome to this FERS Federal Fact Check. I have a couple of great things to talk with you about today because we got another wonderful question in from Floyd. Now, Floyd is asking, he's saying that I'd like to retire at age 57 at my MRA plus 10 option. I do not plan on taking my FERS retirement out until 61 or 62, depending. I have the basic life insurance and single. Is it the best option for me to defer retirement or postpone my retirement? Floyd, thank you very much for that question. It's a really good one, and this is talking about some of the nuances of your benefits. And you know what? Some of the reasons FERS are a little bit different, in some ways a little bit better than CSRS benefits, is this ability we have to postpone or defer our federal benefits. But first, let's talk real quickly to make sure we're on the same page. So one of the things we need to do is look at our rules. What are our rules for a full and immediate retirement? Well, for a full retirement, we got to be our MRA and have at least 30 years of creditable service, or we can be age 60 and have 20 years of creditable service, or we could be age 62 and have 5 years of creditable service. These are our requirements for a full unreduced pension, which is fantastic. That means our pension starts right away and there's no penalties implied. But there's a couple of other options that are out there as well, and one of them is our MRA in 10. At MRA in 10, you are vested in the system. You've paid into FERS for long enough, 5 years plus, and you have 10 years of federal service and you've reached your minimum retirement age. You can separate from federal service and you get to keep your benefits. And in fact, you can even start an immediate retirement. But there's a catch. If we choose an MRA in 10 retirement, there is a penalty, and that penalty is 5% for every year we are under the age of 62. So if I am 57 and I separated MRA in 10, the difference in 57 and 62, 5 years times a 5% penalty is a 25% permanent penalty, permanent reduction in your pension. So that is an option that you could choose, but sometimes we don't want that permanent penalty. Sometimes we're looking for something a little bit better. So what are our options that we have? Well, if we don't want to see that permanent penalty, we can choose to postpone our benefits. So what does this mean on a timeline? So if I go out and I look at a timeline and kind of how everything is set, we have where we are now. Let's go now. Let's then say we have 57, and then we're going to have 62, and then we're going to have our COD. Do you know what our COD is? It's on your life insurance. I'm sorry, it's on your birth certificate. The bottom right-hand corner in most states, COD, cash out date, crap out date, right? When are we going to pass away? It's just a joke. It's not actually on your birth certificate, but that's kind of the end of our plan. What takes place then? Well, if you're 57 and you have 10 years of federal service, you can absolutely retire. But if you choose your pension, again, we have that 25% penalty. So what you could choose to do is postpone your pension to a future date. Now, when could you turn it on? I've already given you that answer at 62. If we go back over here to our chart and we look for our years of service, we don't have 20 years of service. We have 5 years of federal service. So, okay, since we have 5 years of federal service, that means we got to be at least age 62. Okay, so at age 62, I could turn my FERS pension on and there is no penalty. Fantastic. So that's an option that I have. Now, Floyd, in this case, if you went to 61 and you decided to turn your pension on, then you're going to have a 5% permanent penalty. Yes, you can do that, but if we go again, look at my age chart, you're not 62 with 5, you're still MRA in 10. That means you're going to have that penalty that's applied. Now, the really great news about a postponed retirement is that you're postponing all of your benefits. So whether that's your health insurance, your life insurance, etc., sure you have. When you separate at 57, you no longer have those benefits. You've put them on the shelf. You're postponing them for some time in the future. At 62, you apply under a postponed retirement. You then turn those benefits back on. That means between 57 and 62, you did not have FEHB. So you got to understand, how are you going to fill that gap? You're going to go to the marketplace. You're going to get another job. Does your spouse have insurance? These are all great questions that you need to answer. That is a postponed retirement. There's this other thing out here called a deferred retirement. And a deferred retirement is if we retire before our MRA, or MRA and we don't have our 10 years of federal service. Let's say you've worked and you have 5 years of federal service in, which is fantastic, so you're vested in the system, but let's say you're 50 years old. Are you eligible to retire? Let's go back and look at our chart. You're not MRA in 30, you're not 60 and 20, you're not 62 and 5, and you're not MRA in 10. You're not eligible for retirement. So what that means is you still are vested in the federal system, but you have to defer your retirement. It's not a choice to postpone or defer. Now you have to defer. That means you're going to get a pension at some point in time, but you are not eligible for health insurance. So at 62, again, if you only have 5 years of federal service, we go back to our chart, 62 and 5 years of federal service. At 62, you could apply for that deferred retirement. You could turn on your pension, but you're not going to have health insurance or life insurance. You've given up those benefits because you didn't meet the requirements of of an immediate retirement, which are MRA in 30, 60 and 20, 62 and 5, or MRA in 10 for reduced. I know that's a lot of numbers going on here, but this is the importance of understanding your benefits. If you have a question about your federal benefits, make sure you're staying tuned to our podcast. I love doing these videos as well. We also do a podcast with Tammy Flanagan. We have a ton of fun talking about your benefits. It's under Plan Your Federal Retirement. Until next time, happy planning.